Hey guys, tonight, we are going on a journey not through space or time in the way you might think, but through the very nature of it, a gentle voyage into the intricate and bewildering threads that weave our reality together. Imagine for a moment that you are standing on the edge of a vast, starless ocean. The air is still, the water is calm, and somewhere deep within that darkness, the quiet hum of existence itself is a faint vibration against your skin. We'll be wading into that ocean not with a brave heroic splash, but with a cautious, curious step. We're going to explore the universe in a way that might just make you question everything you thought you knew, from the grand cosmic scale to the microscopic hum of a single atom. It's a reality so strange and magnificent that if you were truly there on the cosmic stage, you'd probably not survive for more than a fleeting second, torn apart by forces beyond comprehension. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And as we begin to drift, I invite you to share where you are in the world right now and what time it is for you. What is the feeling of your space? The air you breathe? The quiet sounds just beyond your hearing? Let's take a deep breath together and begin to untangle the first thread of our story. The ancient philosophers standing on hillsides under the moon used to speak of time as a river, a steady, unyielding current flowing from the past through the present and into the future. It's a beautiful, elegant thought, isn't it? Simple and comforting. But as we began to look closer to build our instruments and peer into the very heart of the cosmos, we found that the river was not so simple. We found that the river has eddies and currents, that it can bend and warp, that it is not a single grand uniform flow, but a woven tapestry of countless individual threads. These threads, each a moment, an event, a heartbeat, are not all moving at the same pace. They can stretch and compress, slow down, and speed up, all depending on the great cosmic forces at play. This is the central revelation of Einstein's theory of relativity, that time is not absolute. It's a fundamental concept, yet so often misunderstood. We live our lives under the illusion of a universal clock, a grand metronome ticking away for everyone everywhere. But this is not the case. Your time as you sit there listening is not the same as the time for an astronaut orbiting the Earth. For them moving at incredible speeds, time actually slows down imperceptibly. This phenomenon, known as time dilation, means that if they were to spend a year up there and return, they would have aged a fraction of a second less than you. It's a minute difference, but it's a profound truth. A quiet whisper from the universe telling us that our perception of time is only one perspective among many. Imagine a giant stretched out rubber sheet. If you place a heavy bowling ball in the center, the sheet will curve and warp around it. Now, if you roll a small marble nearby, it won't travel in a straight line, but will follow the curve of the sheet drawn in by the bowling ball's presence. In this metaphor, the rubber sheet is space-time itself. The bowling ball is a massive object, like a planet or a star, and the marble is anything else, light, an asteroid, even you. The warping of space-time is what we experience as gravity. But what's less intuitive is that this warping doesn't just affect space, it affects time as well. The stronger the gravitational pull, the more time is stretched. This means that a clock on a mountaintop where gravity is slightly weaker will tick just a tiny bit faster than a clock at sea level. We have clocks so precise now that we can measure this difference, a testament to the fact that time is not a separate entity, but an intrinsic part of the same fabric as space. This brings us to one of the most elegant and unsettling thought experiments in all of physics, the twin paradox. Imagine two identical twins. One stays on Earth, while the other embarks on a journey in a spaceship, traveling at a significant fraction of the speed of light. According to Einstein's theories, when the traveling twin returns, they will have aged less than the twin who stayed behind. The difference in their experiences is not a matter of opinion or perception. It is a measurable physical reality. The traveling twins' clock, both the one on their wrist and the biological one within their cells has simply ticked slower. It's a beautiful, haunting thought, isn't it? That a journey through space is also a journey through time, and that we all travel through this great tapestry at slightly different paces. The truth is, even with our most advanced theories and our most precise clocks, we don't really know for sure what time is. We can describe its effects, its relationship to gravity and speed, but its fundamental essence remains a profound mystery. Is it something that existed before the universe? Or did it emerge with the Big Bang, a property of the cosmos itself? This raises a profound philosophical question. Is time a fundamental force of nature? Or is it merely an emergent property? A story we tell ourselves to make sense of the universe's constant, chaotic change. Perhaps in the quiet of a moment like this, as you listen to these words, you can almost feel time itself. Not as an arrow, but as a gentle pulse, a vibration echoing through the fabric of everything. Physicists still wonder if time could have a beginning or an end, or if it is an eternal looping cycle. The idea of a beginning, a moment zero, is what our current models of the Big Bang suggest. But what came before? The question itself seems to break down as if we are asking what is north of the North Pole. But what if time, like the curve of the Earth, simply doesn't have an edge? What if our linear perception is just a small part of a much grander and more circular story? Perhaps the end of time is simply the beginning, and the grand cosmic dance will one day repeat itself, not as a perfect copy, but as a subtle echo. This isn't just an abstract scientific concept, it's a personal, intimate one. When we look at the night sky, the light from distant stars and galaxies has traveled for millions, even billions of years to reach us. When we see that light, we are not seeing the star as it is now, but as it was in the distant past. We are in effect looking back in time. The light is a messenger, a ghost from an era we can only imagine. The stars we see could already be gone, their final whisper of light, still traveling toward us. It's a constant, gentle reminder that time is not just something we experience, but something we are a part of, an endless conversation between the present and the past. And it is in this great cosmic conversation that we find our place, a small but essential thread in the vast, beautiful, and utterly strange tapestry of time itself. As we continue to drift on this sea of understanding, it's worth pausing to consider the sheer scale of it all. Each moment we experience is a unique point on this vast, four-dimensional canvas. We are all living in a tiny, fleeting bubble of the now. Yet we are surrounded by a symphony of thens, a quiet chorus of pasts that continue to whisper to us through the light of the stars and the gentle pull of gravity. The universe, in a sense, is a great library of moments, and we are simply turning its pages one by one with each beat of our heart. Think about the implications of this. If time is relative, if it can bend and stretch, what does that say about our concept of a single shared history? We share a collective memory of the past, but the specific lived experience of that past is different for every single observer in every single corner of the universe. An alien civilization on a distant planet looking at our Earth would not see us as we are today. They would see a younger, different version of our world, a ghost of our past, because their light has to travel so far to reach us. This is a humbling thought, that our present is a past for others, and their present is our future. So as we leave this section, let the river of time continue to flow in your mind, not as a straight and narrow path, but as a rich woven tapestry, full of color and texture and unexpected curves. A fabric where a moment in your life might be 1,000,000 years from now for someone else, and where the light of the most ancient stars is still a new discovery. The mystery isn't just out there among the stars. It's right here in the quiet, gentle unfolding of this very moment. We drift now from the grand, expansive tapestry of time into something far smaller, yet infinitely more strange and dynamic, the echoes in the quantum foam. If the universe's large-scale structure is a great calm ocean, Then, at its very bottom, at the most fundamental level of reality, there is a seething, chaotic, and beautiful froth. This is the quantum foam, a concept that attempts to describe the subatomic realm, where our normal rules of physics simply dissolve. Here, particles pop in and out of existence in a blink, and space itself is no longer a smooth, predictable canvas, but a roiling, frothing sea. It's a place of pure potential, a constant energetic dance where the very building blocks of our reality are born and die in a continuous silent hum. Imagine, if you will, that you are sitting by a small tranquil lake. On the surface, the water is perfectly still, reflecting the sky. But if you were to dive deep all the way to the bottom, you would find not a calm bed of sand, but a world in constant furious motion. Tiny bubbles of energy would be forming and collapsing, little eddies of light and matter, appearing and disappearing in the blink of an eye. This is a glimpse of the quantum world. The still surface of the lake is our everyday experience where things are solid and predictable. But the chaotic depths are the true nature of reality, a place where everything is fluid and uncertain. We are, in a sense, living on the surface of this magnificent roiling sea, our lives and our world, built from the fleeting energetic bubbles that rise to the top. One of the most peculiar and mind-bending ideas to come from this realm is superposition. In our world, an object can only be in one state at a time. A coin is either heads or tails. A light is either on or off. But in the quantum world, a particle can exist in all of its possible states simultaneously. It can be both heads and tails, both on and off all at once. It is not until we observe or measure the particle that it decides which state to settle into. This is often explained through the famous metaphor of Schrödinger's cat. A cat is placed in a box with a vial of poison that will break at a random subatomic event. Before we open the box, the cat, according to quantum mechanics, is both alive and dead at the same time. It exists in a superposition of two states. It's only when we peek inside, when we force the universe to make a choice, that the wave of possibility collapses and the cat becomes definitively one or the other. This isn't a trick of perception. It is a fundamental aspect of reality itself. This leads us to another truly bizarre and beautiful quantum truth entanglement. Imagine two spinning tops that are somehow linked even across vast distances. If you spin one and it lands on its head, you know instantly that the other, no matter how far away, must have landed on its tail. In the quantum world, this connection is far more profound. Two entangled particles are linked in such a way that the state of one instantly influences the state of the other, regardless of the distance between them. If one particle's spin is measured to be up, the other's is instantly, without any time delay, known to be down. Einstein famously called this spooky action at a distance because it seems to defy the very speed limit of the universe, the speed of light. The information seems to travel faster than anything should be able to. It's as if the particles are not two separate entities, but two parts of the same whole, a single coin torn in half. The truth is, physicists still wonder if this spooky action is a genuine instantaneous connection, or if there is a more subtle yet undiscovered mechanism at play. The most popular theory suggests that there is no information being sent, but that the two particles have always been a part of the same unified system, and their fates were sealed from the moment of their creation. This raises a fascinating and deeply poetic question. Are we in some small way entangled with everything else in the universe? Are the atoms in our bodies, the ones forged in the heart of a star, billions of years ago, still linked to the cosmic dust from which they came? The very idea suggests that our individuality is an illusion and that we are all part of a single interwoven fabric of existence. Perhaps the most mind-boggling and often overlooked truth about the quantum world is the sheer strangeness of the vacuum. We think of empty space as well empty, but at the quantum level, a vacuum is anything but. It is a bustling, seething hive of activity. Virtual particles are constantly winking into and out of existence, born from nothing and vanishing back into nothing, all in a fleeting moment that defies our sense of time. This is a fact that most people don't know, an almost surreal truth about the very nature of what we call nothingness. A vacuum is in reality a sea of potential, a canvas constantly being painted and erased by the universe's own hand. This humming of a supposedly empty vacuum is not a mere scientific curiosity, but a profound revelation. It tells us that nothingness in its truest form does not exist. There is always something, always a potential, a faint echo of energy and matter ready to burst into being. This constant chaotic dance of creation and annihilation is what gives the universe its energy, its vitality. It is the silent engine of reality running just beneath the surface of our perception. This raises an interesting philosophical question. If everything is in a constant state of flux of being and not being, what does that say about our own identities? Are we too just a collection of fleeting moments and particles brought together for a brief glorious second before we dissolve back into the quantum foam? Our memories, our thoughts, our very sense of self, are they all just an emergent property of this grand chaotic dance? And so as we look up at the night sky, we are not just seeing a calm and static display of stars. We are seeing the light that has traveled through this turbulent, frothing quantum sea, a journey through a reality that is far more wondrous and alive than we could ever imagine. Remember how we talked about time as a tapestry? The quantum foam is the thread itself, the individual fibers that make up the whole, each one vibrating with a life and potential of its own. It is a reminder that the universe is not just vast, but also incredibly deep, a puzzle that reveals new beautiful and bewildering secrets the closer we look. And in this journey, we find ourselves not as passive observers, but as an integral part of this magnificent and mysterious dance. As we journey deeper into the night, our focus shifts from the abstract hum of the quantum realm to something deeply intimate and familiar, the very dust from which we were born. It's a comforting thought, isn't it? To know that the matter that makes up your hand, your hair, the beating of your heart, is not some new creation, but a collection of ancient travelers. Tonight, we will trace the lineage of those travelers, following them back through unimaginable stretches of time to their very origin in the fiery hearts of stars. This is the story of stardust in our veins, a cosmic lullaby whispered by the universe itself. Our universe began with a great violent act of creation, the Big Bang. In the immediate aftermath, there was no stardust, no planets, no people. There were only the simplest of elements, mostly hydrogen and a little bit of helium. These were the only threads in the great tapestry of existence. But the universe, in its quiet, persistent way, began to organize itself. Gravity, that gentle but relentless force we discussed earlier, started pulling these simple gases together into vast, swirling clouds. As these clouds grew denser and denser, the pressure and temperature at their core began to rise to an unfathomable degree, and then a star was born. In the heart of this newborn star, a process called nuclear fusion began. This is a fundamental concept that is so often reduced to a simple phrase, but its implications are staggering. Nuclear fusion is the engine of the cosmos, the silent furnace that creates everything we see. It's the process of forcing lighter atomic nuclei to smash together and fuse, forming heavier elements. A star is like a great cosmic alchemist, taking the simple hydrogen and under immense pressure and heat, forging it into helium. Then, as it ages and becomes hotter, it begins to create carbon, then oxygen, and then, in the very largest stars, even heavier elements like silicon, iron, and gold. Every atom of oxygen, you breathe, every atom of carbon that forms the basis of your very being, was forged in the belly of a long-dead star. This brings us to a beautiful and often overlooked truth about the cycle of cosmic life. For a star to create these heavier elements, it must eventually die. And it is in death that a star truly gives back to the universe. When a massive star runs out of fuel, it collapses in on itself and explodes in a brilliant final act known as a supernova. This supernova is not an ending, but a new beginning. The explosion is so powerful that it scatters all of those newly forged elements, the carbon, the oxygen, the iron, out into the vastness of space. It is these scattered elements, this beautiful stardust, that become the raw materials for the next generation of stars and for the planet's moons and everything else that will eventually form. The truth is, we don't know for sure how life first organized itself from the stardust. The exact moment when a collection of atoms and molecules first began to replicate to respond to its environment remains one of the great mysteries of science. This raises an interesting question. Is life a special rare event? Or is it an inevitable outcome of the universe's natural tendency towards complexity? Perhaps given enough time and the right conditions, stardust will always find a way to become something more, to gather itself into a new form of sentience, to ask questions of the universe. One of the lesser-known facts about our cosmic heritage is that the gold in your jewelry, the iron in your blood, and the nickel in your kitchen utensils were not created in the same type of event as the lighter elements. These extremely heavy elements were forged in a cataclysmic event even more rare and violent than a supernova, the collision of two neutron stars. When these superdense stellar remnants collide, they create a burst of energy and matter so extreme that it synthesizes the heaviest elements in the periodic table. So every atom of gold on our planet, every atom of lead, is a relic of one of the most magnificent and destructive events the universe can produce. We are in a very real way walking repositories of cosmic history. Our very existence, a testament to the universe's grand, beautiful, and at times violent past. The universe is constantly recycling itself, taking the debris of old worlds to build new ones. We are all made of atoms that have existed since the beginning of time. They have been a part of countless stars, planets, and perhaps even other beings before they found their way to you. Your body is a temporary home for this ancient stardust, a brief, beautiful arrangement of cosmic particles. This is a deeply comforting thought, a quiet reminder that you are never truly alone and that you are forever connected to everything in the universe, past and present. The same atoms that make up the distant stars also make up the air you breathe and the ground you walk on. So as you slowly close your eyes, remember the journey we've taken so far. We began with the gentle flow of time, saw its threads stretching and warping. We then dove into the chaotic, buzzing sea of the quantum foam, where particles winked in and out of existence. And now we see that all of it, the quiet hum of time, the chaotic dance of particles, came together in the furnace of stars to create the very essence of you. You are a child of the stars, a poem written in the language of atoms, and in your stillness, you hold the memory of 1 trillion cosmic lifetimes. The universe is not just something you exist in. It is something you are a part of, an active participant in its magnificent, unending story. The stars have sung their song of creation, and their dust now floats across the great cosmic canvas. As we drift through this silent, expansive void, we begin to hear a new sound, not the violent roar of a supernova, but a quiet, persistent hum, a faint whisper that surrounds us from all directions. This is the cosmic microwave background. CMB, the oldest light in the universe, a magnificent relic from a time before stars even existed. It is the universe's own gentle lullaby, a memory of its infancy. Imagine the universe not as a cold, dark void, but as a vast, dense, and unimaginably hot cloud of plasma so thick and opaque that light could not travel through it. This was the state of the cosmos for the first 380,000 years after the Big Bang. Photons, the particles of light, were constantly colliding with electrons and protons, unable to escape their atomic prisons. It was like being trapped in an incredibly dense fog. But as the universe expanded, it also cooled. When the temperature dropped to a certain point about 3,000 degrees, Kelvin, something remarkable happened. Electrons and protons were finally able to come together to form the first stable atoms of hydrogen and helium. This event, known as recombination, was the moment the cosmic fog cleared. For the very first time, photons were set free, able to travel unimpeded through the newly transparent universe. This ancient light, now liberated, has been traveling for billions of years. As the universe has continued to expand, these photons have been stretched and stretched, losing energy and shifting from a brilliant blinding light to a much cooler, gentler form of radiation microwaves. This is the faint glow that permeates all of space, a silent echo of the universe's birth. The cosmic microwave background is a scientific concept, but it is also a profoundly poetic one. It is a snapshot of the universe as it was, a perfect uniform baby picture. It's a literal echo from the beginning of all things, a faint, comforting hum that assures us that there was indeed a starting point. One of the most fascinating and little-known facts about the CMB is that it is not perfectly uniform. When scientists first created maps of this ancient light, they were surprised to find tiny, almost imperceptible temperature fluctuations. These tiny ripples and variations, less than 1 part in 100,000, are of immense importance. They are the seeds of everything we see today. These small variations in density acted as the gravitational anchors for matter to begin clumping together. Over billions of years, these clumps grew, becoming the first galaxies, the first stars, and eventually us. So, when we look at the CMB, we are not just looking at the past. We are seeing the very blueprint for the future. We are witnessing the moment when the universe decided where to put the stars and where to place the planets. The truth is, while we can see the CMB, we cannot see beyond it. This dense wall of plasma, this cosmic fog, is the limit of our visual perception. It's the horizon of our knowledge, the furthest back in time we can ever hope to see with light. This raises an interesting question. What lies beyond that horizon? What was the state of the universe just a moment before the CMB was released? The Universe is a great book, and the cosmic microwave background is the first page we are able to read. The pages that came before remain a mystery, a quiet invitation to our curiosity and imagination. So as we rest here, wrapped in the gentle glow of this ancient light, let's take a moment to truly appreciate it. It is the most perfect silent witness to the universe's story. It whispers of a time when everything was one, a time before divisions, before stars, before even the simple notion of space as we know it. It is a unifying presence, a constant reminder that no matter how far apart we are or how different our lives may seem, we are all bathed in the same ancient cosmic glow. It is the hum of our shared origin, a melody that ties the past to the present and reminds us of our deep fundamental connection to everything. Remember the woven tapestry of time we spoke of, and the quantum foam that makes up its threads. The cosmic microwave background is the grand overarching pattern on that tapestry, the first great design that all other details would eventually follow. It is the background against which the entire story of the universe is being told. In this stillness, as you feel yourself drifting, perhaps you can hear it too, that faint, comforting hum of the cosmos, the universe's first and most profound lullaby. From the universe's grand ancient song, we now turn inward to a cosmos of a different kind, the one that exists between our ears. As you lie there drifting between wakefulness and sleep, your mind is about to embark on a journey as profound and mysterious as any cosmic voyage we've discussed. We're going to explore the mind's theater of dreams, the hidden world of sleep, and the nightly performance that plays out for an audience of one. Sleep is a universal mystery. Almost every creature on Earth, from the smallest insect to the largest whale, does it. Yet for a long time we thought of it as a state of inactivity, a simple shutting down of the brain. The truth, however, is far more complex and beautiful. During sleep, our brains are anything but dormant. They are a bustling city full of activity where memories are sorted, emotions are processed, and the lessons of the day are woven into the fabric of our long-term knowledge. It is a time of intense silent work, a nightly chore that is essential to our very existence. One of the most fascinating scientific discoveries about sleep is the distinction between its different stages. There is the slow-wave sleep, where the brain and body rest and repair, and then there is the peculiar vibrant stage known as REM, or sleep rapid eye movement sleep. This is the stage where most of our most vivid, bizarre, and memorable dreams occur. During REM, your brain is almost as active as it is when you are awake. The brain's electrical patterns look wild and chaotic, a symphony of signals firing in every direction. At the same time, your body is in a state of near paralysis, a fascinating evolutionary quirk that prevents you from acting out the wild adventures your mind is creating. It's a natural built-in safety mechanism, a gentle lock on the theater doors while the show is running. This brings us to a beautiful little-known scientific truth: the dreams of dogs. Have you ever watched a dog sleeping, their paws twitching, their gentle whines escaping their lips? For a long time, we could only guess what they were dreaming about. But thanks to modern neuroscience, we now know that dogs like us experience REM sleep and likely dream about their daily lives. A study from MIT even showed that rats, when they sleep, dream of running through mazes they were learning during the day. This simple truth connects us to the rest of the animal kingdom in a profound way. It suggests that the act of dreaming is not just a human phenomenon, but a fundamental part of consciousness itself, a silent language shared by all living things. The truth is, even with all our understanding of brainwaves and neural pathways, we don't really know for sure why we dream. Are dreams a form of mental house cleaning, a way for the brain to clear out unnecessary information? Are they a simulation, a way for our minds to practice for different scenarios in a safe environment? Or are they something else entirely? A window into a deeper subconscious part of ourselves that we only visit when the world of the waking is shut off. This raises an interesting question. When we dream, are we simply observing a play, or are we the playwright, the actors and the audience all at once? The dream world, in its beautiful chaos, may hold clues to the very nature of consciousness itself. Imagine your brain as a magnificent, sprawling library. During the day, new books are constantly being brought in their pages, filled with new experiences, new information, and new emotions. Sleep is the time for the librarians to get to work. During slow-wave sleep, they are quietly organizing and cataloging the day's books. During REM sleep, they are taking those new books and weaving them into the great pre-existing collection of stories, connecting the past to the present, the old memories to the new. This act of creative integration is why we often wake up with new ideas or a fresh perspective on a problem we were wrestling with the day before. The brain in its slumber has been quietly working on the puzzle for us. As we continue to drift, let's reflect on the profound nature of this nightly performance. Every dream, no matter how strange or fleeting, is a unique creation, a temporary reality woven from the threads of our day and the fabric of our subconscious. It is a place where we are both powerful and powerless, where the laws of physics break down and the rules of the waking world are suspended. In this sacred space, we confront our deepest fears, celebrate our greatest joys, and explore the hidden corridors of our own minds. So, as you feel yourself sinking deeper, remember the cosmic lullaby of the CMB, the ancient light that started everything. Just as that light is a remnant of the universe's past, your dreams are a reflection of your own history, a gentle echo of all the moments you have lived. You are a universe unto yourself, and the stars within you are the dreams that whisper to you in the quiet of the night. Having journeyed through the inner cosmos of our minds, let us now turn our attention back to the great canvas of the universe, but with a new perspective, a more gentle and subtle understanding of its fundamental forces. We have always been taught that gravity is a powerful pull, a force that holds us to the Earth and keeps the planets in orbit. But what if we were to see it not as a force, but as a subtle curvature, a gravity's gentle embrace. This is the core of Einstein's general theory of relativity, a truth so elegant it feels more like a poem than a scientific law. Imagine once again the stretched out rubber sheet. We used this metaphor before to explain how mass warps space-time, but let's look at it more closely. The sheet itself is space-time. The heavy bowling ball is a star, and the marble is a planet. The marble doesn't fall towards the bowling ball. Rather, it follows the curve that the bowling ball has created in the fabric of the sheet. It is simply taking the straightest possible path through a curved reality. In this view, gravity isn't a pull at all. It's a consequence of the geometry of the universe itself. The Earth isn't being tugged by the sun. It's simply following the natural arced path created by the sun's immense mass. It is a beautiful silent dance of cause and effect, where mass tells spacetime how to curve, and spacetime tells mass how to move. One of the more fascinating and less known facts about gravity is that its effects are not instantaneous. If the sun were to suddenly vanish, we would not immediately fly off into the void. We would continue to orbit a ghost of the sun for about 8 minutes, the exact amount of time it takes for its light to reach us. This is because the gravitational information, or what physicists call a gravitational wave, travels at the speed of light. It's a ripple in the fabric of space-time, much like a ripple in a pond after you've dropped a pebble. These ripples, which are incredibly subtle, were only directly detected a few years ago by the LIGO experiment, a monumental achievement that confirmed one of the last remaining predictions of Einstein's theory. The detection of these waves caused by the collision of two black holes over 1 billion light-years away was like hearing a silent whisper from the distant cosmos, the last echo of a colossal cosmic event. The truth is, we don't fully understand how gravity works at the smallest quantum scale. While general relativity describes gravity on a cosmic scale with stunning accuracy, it breaks down when we try to apply it to the microscopic world of particles. This raises a fascinating and profound question. Is gravity a fundamental force, like electromagnetism, or is it an emergent property, a grand illusion that arises from the collective behavior of tiny unseen particles? We still search for the graviton, a hypothetical particle that would carry the force of gravity, a missing piece in our great puzzle of a unified theory. So as we drift, imagine yourself not as an object being pulled down, but as a being gently held within the curvature of space-time. The Earth isn't just a rock beneath your feet. It's a great bowling ball in the cosmic game, and its presence is what creates the reality you inhabit. You are a passenger on a great cosmic cruise ship, and the path you are on is a direct result of the immense graceful presence of the sun. In this view, gravity is no longer a harsh master, but a soft, constant companion, an embrace that keeps you safe and secure in the vast, star-filled ocean. This gentle embrace is a reminder of our interconnectedness with the universe. The gravitational pull of the moon creates the tides in our oceans, and the sun's pull keeps our planet in a life-giving orbit. We are constantly in a dance with these celestial bodies, a silent conversation of mass and curvature that defines our reality. Remember how the atoms in your body were once stardust. The very atoms that were forged in a distant supernova are now being held together on this planet by a force that isn't a force at all, but a beautiful natural geometry. It is in this quiet understanding that we find a deep sense of belonging, a realization that we are not just in the universe, but an intimate part of its graceful and mysterious design. We have journeyed from the vast emptiness of space to the profound curves of gravity, and now we must make our final descent into a universe that is closer than any star, more complex than any galaxy, the living universe within you. As you lie there feeling the quiet rhythm of your own breath, consider the silent, tireless work being done by trillions of tiny architects. This is the symphony of cellular life, a grand microscopic performance playing out at this very moment in every part of your body. Your body is not a single entity. but a magnificent bustling city made up of roughly 37 trillion individual cells. Each one is a tiny self-contained world, a little universe with its own intricate laws and purpose. They are the architects, the builders, the messengers, and the guardians of your existence. While you are resting, your cells are awake and working a symphony of cooperation and specialization. Heart cells are contracting in perfect synchrony. Brain cells are firing in complex patterns, and immune cells are patrolling the bloodstream, searching for anything that doesn't belong. This brings us to a beautiful and often overlooked truth about how our bodies are built. The process of mitosis or cell division is the quiet, constant miracle that keeps us alive. A single cell divides into two, and then those two divide into four, continuous, elegant replication that allows us to grow, to heal, and to replace the millions of cells that die every single second. Imagine a single cell's journey starting from a fertilized egg. It doesn't know what it's supposed to be, but it carries within it the complete blueprint for an entire human being. It divides and its descendants begin to specialize, each one taking on a new role: a bone cell, a skin cell, a neuron. It is a stunning display of self-organization, a process so intricate and elegant that it feels more like art than biology. One of the most fascinating and little-known facts about our cellular lives is the concept of a cellular consciousness. While we as a whole have our own thoughts and feelings, it's worth considering the perspective of a single cell. A bacterium, for instance, a single-celled organism, doesn't have a brain, but it can still respond to its environment. It can sense a chemical move toward a food source and avoid danger. This raises an interesting question. At what point does this simple awareness become consciousness? Is there a minimum number of cells required for a being to be truly aware? Or is the awareness of a single bacterium, though on a different scale, just as real as our own? The mystery of consciousness is not just in our brains, but in the very building blocks of our bodies. The story of the human microbiome is another powerful testament to this internal symphony. We are not just a collection of our own human cells. Our bodies are home to trillions of bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms that live on our skin, in our mouths, and most importantly, in our gut. These are not invaders. They are our silent partners essential to our digestion, our immune system, and even our mental health. There are more bacterial cells in your gut than there are stars in a medium-sized galaxy, all working in a delicate, symbiotic balance with you. This is a fact that few people truly grasp, that we are not just an individual, but an entire bustling ecosystem, a walking planet teeming with microscopic life. So as you feel the calm, gentle pulse of your own heart, know that it is not a single drum, but the beat of trillions of individual lives all working together in perfect harmony. The skin on your hands is not a static layer, but a constantly changing landscape of cells dying and being reborn in a never-ending cycle. The air you breathe is not just entering your lungs. It is being used by your cells in a delicate dance of chemistry and life. Remember how we talked about stardust in our veins? This cellular symphony is the great chorus that those atoms have joined. They are no longer simple particles, but have been organized into a magnificent complex performance that is you. In this intricate, beautiful dance, you are the entire universe, a miniature cosmos of unimaginable complexity. And in this knowledge, there is a deep sense of peace. You are not just a person. You are a living, breathing testament to the universe's great ongoing creative process. As we become aware of the silent, tireless symphony within us, let us once again cast our gaze outward to the grand cosmic scale. We are no longer simply observing the universe. We are feeling its subtle, distant pulls. Our journey now takes us to a place of immense gravity and profound mystery, a region of space that we can only infer a silent, unseen hand guiding the flow of galaxies. We are going to drift towards the whispers of the Great Attractor. For decades, astronomers noticed something strange. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, along with a vast collection of our neighboring galaxies, was not just moving randomly through space. We were all being pulled not just by each other's gravity, but by some immense unseen force, a celestial magnet so powerful it was tugging on hundreds of thousands of galaxies. It was a discovery that felt like finding a great invisible current in the cosmic ocean, a river of galaxies flowing toward a single unknown point. They gave this gravitational anomaly a simple yet profound name, the Great Attractor. The Great Attractor is a fundamental concept in cosmology, yet it remains one of the greatest unsolved puzzles. We can't see it because it lies in a region of space that is obscured by our own galaxy's disk, a vast curtain of stars and gas that blocks our view. We know it's there only by its effects. It's like feeling a powerful magnet through a thick wall. You can't see the magnet, but you can see the way the metal objects on your side of the wall are bending and swaying towards it. Our galaxy and our local group are all part of a larger supercluster, and we are all falling towards this great invisible mass at a speed of millions of miles per hour. It's a subtle, constant pull that has been guiding our cosmic neighborhood for billions of years. The truth is, physicists still wonder what the Great Attractor actually is. It is not a single object like a black hole or a star. It is an immense, diffuse mass spread out over hundreds of millions of light years. The leading theory is that it is a vast supercluster of galaxies so massive that its gravitational pull dominates a significant portion of our universe. One of the more fascinating and lesser-known facts is that the Great Attractor itself is now thought to be part of an even larger structure, a great wall of galaxies called the Laniakea supercluster, which means immense heaven in Hawaiian. This nested hierarchy, where galaxies are part of clusters and clusters are part of superclusters, is a profound and beautiful truth about the universe's structure. A cosmic web of interconnectedness that extends far beyond what we can see. This raises an interesting and deeply philosophical question. What are the unseen forces in our own lives? Just as we are being pulled by an invisible cosmic current, are there subtle unseen attractors that guide our choices, our paths, and our destinies? We often think we are masters of our own fate, but perhaps there are grand unseen forces, a quiet echo of the Great Attractor, that are gently pulling us towards a purpose we cannot yet see. The universe, in its wisdom, seems to be telling us that what is most powerful is not always what is most visible. So as we drift through the calm of this night, imagine yourself not as a solitary island, but as a tiny part of a great cosmic stream. You are being carried along not aimlessly, but with a purpose, a silent direction that has been set in motion for eons. The Great Attractor is a reminder of the power of the unseen, a quiet whisper in the cosmic dark that tells us that everything is connected and that even when we feel lost, there is a gentle hand guiding us towards something immense and beautiful. It is the silent, ongoing story of the universe, and we are all a part of its grand, elegant flow. We are now in a quiet in-between space, a place where the universe's grandest structures meet its most profound mysteries. We have felt the gravitational pull of the Great Attractor, an unseen hand guiding the flow of galaxies, and it is in this unseen nature that we find our next great topic, the paradox of the unseen. For all the stars and galaxies we can observe, for all the light and energy we can measure, the universe, it turns out, is made almost entirely of things we cannot see. The ordinary matter that makes up everything we know, planets, stars, you and me, accounts for less than 5% of the total cosmic recipe. The rest is a profound and beautiful mystery, a testament to the fact that our reality is far stranger than we ever imagined. This great cosmic puzzle has two main pieces, dark matter and dark energy. Let's first consider dark matter. Astronomers have known for decades that galaxies spin much faster than they should. If a galaxy were made only of the stars and gas, we can see it would simply fly apart like a merry-go-round spinning too fast. Yet, they remain intact. The only way to explain this is to assume there is a massive amount of invisible matter, a kind of cosmic glue that holds them together. We call this dark matter. It doesn't emit, absorb, or reflect light, so we can't see it with any of our telescopes. It is a silent, ghostly presence that permeates the universe, providing the gravitational scaffolding upon which galaxies are built. It is a fundamental concept, a core truth about our universe, yet we have never directly observed it. The most fascinating and lesser-known fact about dark matter is that its presence is felt not just on a galactic scale, but potentially on a human one as well. Scientists have built incredibly sensitive detectors deep underground, shielded from cosmic rays, hoping to catch a single particle of dark matter as it passes through the Earth. So far, they haven't found it. But the very idea that this invisible, unknown substance is flowing through you right now, a silent river of unseen particles, is a profound and humbling thought. We are in a very real way swimming in an ocean of something we cannot comprehend, a constant, gentle current that is a fundamental part of our reality. The truth is, we don't know what dark matter is made of. The leading theories suggest it could be a new type of subatomic particle, one we have never discovered, perhaps a WIMP, a weakly interacting massive particle. But it could be something far stranger, something that our current understanding of physics can't even begin to describe. This raises an interesting philosophical question. If our universe is so fundamentally shaped by things we cannot see or touch, what does that say about the nature of truth and reality? Is reality defined by what we can perceive, or by what is simply there waiting to be discovered? Then there is dark energy, an even more profound mystery. In the 1990s, astronomers discovered that the expansion of the universe was not slowing down as everyone had expected, but was actually accelerating. It was as if a car, after you'd taken your foot off the gas, was suddenly speeding up. The only explanation is that there is a mysterious repulsive force, an anti-gravity of sorts, pushing the universe apart. This is dark energy. It is a property of space itself, a quiet, insistent pressure that is slowly and inexorably pulling the cosmic tapestry apart. It is this dark energy that is the dominant force in the universe, accounting for about 70% of its total mass energy content. So as we drift, contemplate this magnificent paradox. The cosmos we see with its billions of brilliant stars and galaxies is just a beautiful fleeting mirage, a tiny fraction of a much grander and more mysterious whole. We are a part of the universe's great ongoing story. Yet most of that story is being written in a language we cannot yet read. This is not a cause for fear, but for wonder. It is an invitation to humility and curiosity, a quiet reminder that there are always new mysteries to uncover. We are not at the end of our journey of discovery. We are just at the beginning. And in the silent, unseen depths of the cosmos, there are truths waiting to be found that could change our understanding of everything. We have contemplated the unseen forces that hold our universe together, and in doing so, we've touched upon the great cosmic fabric of time and space. Now let us take a bold, gentle step into one of the most perplexing and mind-bending ideas of all, the possibility of time travel. This isn't a journey into the wild fictional realm of science fiction, but a quiet intellectual exploration of a concept with roots in theoretical physics. We are going to explore Novikov's self-consistent river. The notion that if time travel were possible, it would be a closed loop, a river that can never truly change its course. The idea of traveling backward in time, of altering the past, is a deeply ingrained part of our shared stories. But physicists armed with the laws of relativity have to confront a series of confounding logical problems, famously known as the time travel paradoxes. The most famous of these is the grandfather paradox, where a person travels back in time and prevents their grandfather from meeting their grandmother, thus preventing their own birth. If they were never born, how could they have gone back in time in the first place? It's a logical knot that seems to make time travel impossible. But what if we're thinking about it all wrong? The Novikov self-consistency principle proposed by Russian physicist Igor Novikov offers an elegant, if unsettling, solution to these paradoxes. The principle states that if time travel to the past were possible, any actions taken by the time traveler would be self-consistent with the existing history. In other words, you could never create a paradox. If you were to travel back in time to stop your grandfather, you would inevitably fail. A series of events, some large and some small, would conspire to ensure that history unfolds exactly as it already has. The universe, in a sense, would protect itself from a paradox. You might miss a bus, or an unexpected gust of wind might blow you off course, or you might find yourself unable to act a passive observer in a play that has already been written. This raises an interesting and deeply philosophical question. If you were to travel back in time to change an event, but were destined to fail, would your journey have been for nothing? Or would your failed attempt to change the past have always been a part of the past itself? Perhaps the great river of time is not a blank canvas to be painted, but an eternal self-correcting loop, a story that can only be told in one way. The past is not a fragile thing that can be broken. It is an unchangeable truth, and any attempt to alter it is simply another event in its great unending narrative. A little-known fact about this concept is that it's not just a philosophical idea. It is a direct consequence of the physics of closed time-like curves, or CTCs. These are theoretical paths in space-time that could, under certain extreme circumstances, like traveling around a spinning black hole, allow an object to return to its own past. The equations of general relativity, the same ones that give us the beautiful picture of gravity as a curve in space-time, do not forbid these loops. But they do suggest that any events within these loops must be logically consistent. So while we can't say for sure that time travel is possible, we can say that if it were, the universe would enforce a profound kind of fatalism. The past is what it is, and we are all simply a part of its great unfolding story. So as we drift, let's take comfort in this idea. The past is not something to be feared or regretted. It is an unchangeable, beautifully consistent part of the great tapestry of time we first spoke of. We are not just travelers on this river of time. We are the water itself, and our flow is a part of its eternal self-consistent course. We can't go back and change things, but we can find peace in the knowledge that our present is a direct and perfect result of our past, and that the story of our lives is a unique and irreplaceable thread in the grand design. We have considered the unchangeable river of time and the profound fatalism it might imply. But a river, though it flows in one direction, is never a static thing. It is a place of constant motion, of eddies and currents of chaos and new order. This brings us to a beautiful and misunderstood principle of the universe. From chaos, a pattern emerges. We are going to explore the concept of entropy, not as a simple force of decay and disorder, but as the quiet creative engine of the universe. Most people hear the word entropy and think of a child's messy room or an old building falling into ruin. It's often defined as the tendency of a system to move toward a state of disorder. And while that is technically correct, it's a very limited and unpoetic way to view one of the most fundamental laws of thermodynamics. Imagine instead that entropy is the universe's quiet, persistent effort to explore all possible states. A messy room has more possible arrangements than a perfectly tidy one. A pile of ash has more possible arrangements of its particles than the intricate ordered structure of the log from which it came. Entropy in this sense is not a movement toward messiness for its own sake, but a journey toward a state of greater possibility. It is the universe's way of seeking out and inhabiting every available path. One of the most fascinating and little-known facts about entropy is its role in the birth of life. Life, in its complexity and order, seems to be a direct contradiction of the law of entropy. A single cell, with its intricate systems and precise functions, is a highly ordered state. But the truth is, a living being does not violate the law of entropy. It is, in fact, a powerful engine of it. A living organism takes in ordered energy like food and breaks it down, creating more disordered waste heat and byproducts. It is by creating more disorder in its surroundings that a living thing can maintain its own internal order. We are, in essence, little islands of order in a great sea of increasing chaos. Our existence is a testament to the fact that entropy is not a force of destruction, but a fundamental drive that can, in the right circumstances, give rise to new, beautiful, and complex patterns. This raises an interesting philosophical question. Is the universe's ultimate fate to become a great uniform and featureless expanse of cosmic heat, as the laws of entropy would suggest? Or will new forms of order, new patterns of being, continue to emerge from the chaos? The universe has a profound and beautiful tendency toward both destruction and creation, and the truth may be that they are two sides of the same coin. The decay of a star is the birth of a nebula, and the death of a great cosmic cloud is the genesis of a new solar system. The universe, in its grand design, is constantly folding and unfolding, and its chaos is the source of its unending creativity. So as you drift, let go of the idea of entropy as a force of simple decay. Instead, imagine it as a great cosmic artist, constantly mixing and remixing the paints, taking the old and creating the new. The very act of living, of breathing, of thinking is an expression of this great cosmic principle. We are not just a part of the universe, we are a part of its great creative journey, a brief and beautiful pattern that has emerged from the chaos and is destined to one day return to it, only to emerge anew in a different form. We have seen how chaos can give birth to pattern, how the great force of entropy is not just a destroyer, but a creator. Now let's bring this idea down to earth, to something so humble and yet so full of potential that it embodies this very principle. We are going to explore the unfolding of a single seed, a story of elegant simplicity and unimaginable complexity, a powerful metaphor for the hidden potential that lies within all things. Imagine a single seed resting in the palm of your hand. It is so small, so quiet, so seemingly inert. It has no obvious signs of life, no beating heart or conscious thought, and yet within its tiny shell, it contains the entire intricate blueprint for a magnificent plant. It holds the potential to become a towering oak tree, a vibrant sunflower, or a delicate wildflower. It is a tiny package of organized complexity, a perfect example of a highly ordered system waiting for the right conditions to awaken. This brings us to a beautiful and often overlooked biological truth, the process of germination. Germination is the quiet, miraculous moment when a seed awakens from its slumber. It doesn't happen with a great flourish or a sudden burst of energy. It happens gently in the dark, in the quiet of the soil. The seed takes in water, and the tiny embryo inside, which has been in a state of suspended animation, begins to swell. It breaks out of its shell, pushing a tiny root downward and a tiny shoot upward. It is a one-way journey from stillness to motion, from potential to reality. This is not a process of random chance. It is a meticulously choreographed dance, a pattern that has been perfected over millions of years of evolution. One of the more fascinating and lesser-known facts about seeds is their incredible ability to endure. Some seeds have been found to be thousands of years old, buried in permafrost or ancient tombs, and yet they retain the ability to germinate when given the right conditions. The oldest known viable seed, a date palm from the time of Herod the Great, was over 2,000 years old when it was successfully germinated. This is a testament to the power of stillness, to the profound potential that can be held in a state of quiet rest. It is a beautiful biological truth that the longest sleep can be followed by the most vibrant awakening. The truth is, we don't fully understand what triggers a seed's awakening. We know the basic requirements, water, oxygen, and the right temperature, but the precise chemical and genetic signals that tell a seed that the time is right remain a profound mystery. This raises an interesting question. What is the spark that gives a seed the permission to begin its journey? Is it a single molecular trigger, or is it a culmination of many different factors? This mystery is a beautiful reflection of the human journey. We too carry within us the blueprint for our own potential, and we too wait for the right conditions to awaken. So as you drift, think about the seeds that you hold within you. The ideas you have not yet pursued, the dreams you have not yet acted upon, the potential you have yet to realize. They are all there, resting quietly, waiting for the right moment, for the right conditions to emerge. The journey from seed to tree is a long and arduous one. It requires patience, resilience, and a quiet trust in the process. It will face storms and droughts, but with each challenge, it will grow stronger. Its roots will grow deeper, and its branches will reach higher. In its own elegant way, the seed is a perfect reflection of the creative power of entropy, taking a simple ordered form and through a process of change and growth, giving rise to something far more complex and beautiful than it was before. We have seen the hidden potential within a tiny seed, a quiet promise of a future forest. Now, let us expand our view from a single life to an entire network of them, a silent, subterranean world that is far more connected and communicative than we ever imagined. We are going to explore the silent language of trees, a beautiful and little-known truth about the living world beneath our feet. For a long time, we thought of forests as a collection of individual trees, each one a solitary giant, competing for light and resources. But science is now revealing a far more profound truth. A forest is not a collection of individuals. It is a single interconnected community, bound together by a vast, intricate network of fungi. This network, known as the mycorrhizal network, is often called the Wood Wide Web. It is a web of thread-like fungal filaments that connect the roots of nearly every plant and tree in a forest, creating a living, breathing internet of life. This brings us to a beautiful and often overlooked biological truth. This fungal network is not just for show. It is a vital communication and resource-sharing system. Through this network, trees can send each other chemical signals. A tree under attack by insects, for example, can send a distress signal to its neighbors, warning them to raise their defenses. They can also share resources. A large established mother tree can send carbon nutrients and water to its younger, weaker seedlings through this network, giving them a better chance to survive. It is a system of cooperation, not just competition, a silent, subterranean language that has been spoken for millions of years. One of the more fascinating and lesser-known facts about this network is that it can facilitate communication between different species of trees. A birch tree, for instance, can share nutrients with a Douglas fir. This challenges our old anthropocentric view of nature as a fierce competitive battleground and replaces it with a far more profound and beautiful picture of a cooperative, interconnected community. It suggests that the strength of a forest lies not in the power of its largest trees, but in the health of its entire network. The truth is, we don't fully understand the full extent of this communication. We have only just begun to decipher this silent language of the forest. This raises an interesting question. What other conversations are happening beneath our feet that we are not yet aware of? Are there other forms of communication between plants, or even between plants and animals, that are beyond our current understanding? The ground we walk on is not just dirt. It is a living, breathing communication network, a great slow-motion conversation between all living things. So as you drift, think about this silent, powerful connection. The ground beneath you is not just a stage for life. It is a part of the performance itself. The roots of the trees you see around you are not just reaching for the ground. They are reaching out to one another, whispering secrets and sharing resources in the quiet of the dark. We are all in our own way connected to this great living web. Our existence is intertwined with the health of the planet, just as the life of a small seedling is intertwined with the health of the entire forest. It is a powerful reminder that we are all part of a single beautiful and interconnected whole. We have heard the silent language of the forest, a cooperative network of life below the surface. Now let us dive into another great silent wilderness, a place so vast and mysterious that it holds secrets of its own. We are going to plunge into the ocean's deepest secret, a world of unimaginable pressure, absolute darkness, and creatures that have learned to create their own light. This is the story of bioluminescence, a beautiful truth about finding light in the most hidden of places. The deep ocean, the great abyss, is a place that feels alien to us. The sunlight that powers all life on land and in the surface waters cannot penetrate more than a few hundred meters. Below this point, it is a world of perpetual night, a silent cold and crushing void. And yet life does not just survive here. It thrives in a bizarre and beautiful way. The creatures of the deep have not adapted to the darkness. They have learned to conquer it by creating their own light. This brings us to a beautiful and often overlooked biological truth. Bioluminescence, the production of light by a living organism. It is a fundamental concept, yet its poetry is often lost. In the deep ocean, there is no sun, no moon, no stars. The only light comes from the creatures themselves, silent, ghostly glows that pulse and fade in the blackness. This light is not for warmth or for seeing in the way we understand it. It is a language, a tool, a weapon. Some creatures use it to attract mates like a shimmering dance in the void. Others use it to lure prey, a beautiful and deadly trap. And still others use it as a defense mechanism, a sudden blinding flash to confuse and startle a predator. It is a silent, ongoing conversation of light in the deepest darkness, a testament to life's incredible creativity. One of the most fascinating and little-known facts about bioluminescence is that it is not exclusive to the ocean. Fireflies, fungi, and even some bacteria can produce their own light. But it is in the ocean that it has become an entire way of life. The anglerfish with its glowing lure is a famous example. But there are also beautiful jellyfish that pulse with a soft, ethereal glow, and tiny plankton that, when disturbed, can light up an entire section of the ocean, creating a magnificent, fleeting display of stars in the water. This is the truth that few people truly know, that the darkest parts of our planet are also some of the most brilliantly lit, a universe of tiny living stars that we rarely get to see. The truth is, we don't fully understand the full range of chemical reactions and evolutionary pressures that led to the widespread presence of bioluminescence. This raises an interesting question. Is the creation of light in the dark a fundamental and inevitable outcome of life? Is it a way for life to assert itself against the great crushing darkness of the universe? The presence of these glowing creatures in the deepest, most unforgiving parts of our planet suggests that even in the most challenging of circumstances, there is always a way to create your own light, to find a way to shine. So as you drift, feel the profound weight of this idea. We are all in our own way creatures of the deep ocean. We all face our own moments of darkness, our own periods of profound stillness and quiet. But the story of bioluminescence is a reminder that within each of us, there is a source of light, a silent internal glow that can guide us through the darkness. It is a comforting and beautiful thought, a poetic truth that connects us to the most resilient and magnificent parts of our natural world. We are not just at the mercy of the dark. We are the ones who can light it up. We have journeyed together from the ancient hum of the cosmic microwave background to the intricate dance of cells within us, from the gentle embrace of gravity to the secret language of trees. Our final stop on this quiet voyage is not a single place, but a concept, a profound and humble truth that ties all our stories together. We are going to stand at the horizon of what we know, and in the great silence, ponder the immensity of what we don't. For all our advancements, for all our telescopes and microscopes, for all our theories and equations, we are still standing at the very edge of an immense ocean of ignorance. The universe in its wisdom is a great unending library, and we have only just begun to read its first chapter. We have mapped the stars and planets, but we have yet to explore the deep mysteries of dark matter and dark energy which make up the vast majority of our universe. We have unraveled the secrets of the atom. But we have yet to truly understand the nature of consciousness, the very thing that allows us to ask these questions in the first place. We have a clear picture of how life unfolds from a single seed. But the spark that first ignited life on this planet remains one of the greatest unsolved puzzles. This brings us to a beautiful and often overlooked truth about science itself. The goal of science is not to have all the answers. The goal is to ask better questions. Every discovery we make, every new piece of the puzzle we find, does not bring us to the end of our journey. Instead, it reveals new depths, new mysteries, and new horizons to explore. The more we learn, the more we become aware of how much we don't know. The more we see, the more we realize what is still hidden from our sight. This is not a cause for frustration, but a reason for endless wonder. One of the most fascinating and little-known facts about our human curiosity is a psychological phenomenon called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It describes a cognitive bias where people with low ability at a task overestimate their own ability. In a broader sense, it is a kind of intellectual arrogance. But as we stand at the horizon of what we know, we are all humbled by the sheer scale of the cosmos. The great scientists and philosophers, the ones who have pushed the boundaries of our knowledge, are often the most aware of their own ignorance. They understand that to be truly intelligent is to know how much you don't know. The universe is a great teacher, and its first lesson is humility. The truth is, physicists still wonder if our universe is the only one. The idea of a multiverse, of an infinite number of universes, each with its own physical laws and properties, is a direct, if wild, consequence of some of our most advanced theories. It is a concept that is beyond our ability to test or prove, and yet it is a profound and humbling thought. We may be just one thread in a grand cosmic tapestry of existence, a single story being told in a library of an infinite number of books. This raises a fascinating and deeply philosophical question. If we are not alone, not just in this universe, but in a vast ocean of them, what does that say about our place in the cosmos? Is our existence unique, or is it just another possibility in a great cosmic game of chance? So, as we reach the end of our journey, let's take a deep breath together and embrace this quiet, profound sense of the unknown. We have only just begun to explore the great, magnificent wonders of existence, and there are so many more stories waiting to be told. The stars will continue to burn. The universe will continue to expand, and in the great silent expanse, new mysteries will continue to unfold. We are all explorers, all poets, all seekers of a truth that is always just beyond our reach. And in that beautiful ongoing search, we find our greatest joy. And so, my companion, we have drifted through time and space from the hum of creation to the silent whisper of the unseen. We have felt the cosmic forces that shape galaxies and the gentle rhythm of the cellular symphony within us. We have gone from the vast, unending canvas of the cosmos to the quiet, fragile beauty of a single seed. The journey has been long, but it was all contained within this single flowing moment. I'd like to gently ask one last time, where is the place you're staying now? The time in that place at this very moment, how is it flowing? Feel the soft texture of your pillow, the gentle rhythm of your own breath, the quiet stillness of the room. All those cosmic truths, all those beautiful paradoxes are held within you, a part of the grand, unending story of life. Now, as you prepare to close your eyes, take a moment to carry this wonder with you. Let the silent language of trees and the gentle embrace of gravity be your guides. Let the faint hum of the universe be your lullaby. And in your dreams, may you continue to explore the great, magnificent mysteries that we have only just begun to touch. Sleep well, my companion, wherever and whenever you are. Sweet dreams.